Hi, I'm Laraine Herring, and I am your creative writing professor for your online creative writing class this semester. And I wanted to just do a short video introducing myself to you, talking a little bit about my philosophy about the class, and some of the key issues that I think can come up in an online class to try to get those taken care of before we even start. Um, I think one of the key components to a successful creative writing class is the ability to take risks with your work and not be afraid to try new things. So much of the creative writing is experimenting, and you learn so much more from the drafts that don't work than you do from the one that does. And so, to that end, our class is process oriented, not product oriented. Um, Meaning that I want to give you some tools for drafting, tools for revising that you can take with you long after our time together is over. Yes, there are things that are due on certain days, and yes, there are specific assignments that are due. So there is product in that way. But I'm less concerned with you having written the best thing in the universe as much as I'm concerned with how much you've grown from where you entered the class to when you leave the class. Um, there's always something to be learned, and like most of life, fortunately or unfortunately, it seems like we learn a lot more from the things that didn't work than by the things that did. So having said that, I think an online class has a lot of benefits for students, especially your ability to be flexible with your time so that you can have a job, a family, take care of other things in your life that are also important to you. But there are also some real drawbacks to an online class that I wanted to just try to talk about right away at the beginning so we can hopefully avoid any issues around them over the semester. And the first, which is solely your responsibility, is time management. You are responsible for doing your work on time. There's nobody standing over you, staring at you, saying, remember, your paper's due, remember, remember. It's your responsibility to have written down the dates and to turn in your work on time. My class has a no late work policy, and that policy is firm. There are no exceptions to that. So um, before you freak out about that, you'll see as soon as you can log into the class on the first day of school that all the due dates are there. They're on your syllabus. They're also under all of the different weeks of the course. You'll also be getting announcements from me and more emails than you possibly can stand, reminding you about that. But ultimately, it's your responsibility to make sure things are done. It also, because there's not the twice weekly personal component, in a classroom, it can be easy to sometimes forget that this class exists or to do it between like 2 and 4 a.m. or some other time when you're not perhaps at your best. Um, get yourself in the habit. You just put the class on your schedule. If you've got a physics class on Monday and Wednesday from 12:30 to 3, go right to the library and work on your creative writing class the same day, 2 days a week. Get this class scheduled in just like you would an in-person class, and that'll help prevent you from falling behind. You'd be amazed at how quickly you could fall behind in an online class, because there's some part of your brain where you might feel like it isn't actually happening, but it is. It's going on all the time. And the second thing I want to talk about is tone in an academic environment. Um, an online class can allow for some really amazing communication to occur, um, because we're not having to respond off the cuff. We can think about what we have to say, and there might be some safety behind a computer monitor that might allow us to say some things that are more intimate, more truthful than we might feel comfortable doing in a classroom. But the flip side of that is people can sometimes say things that are mean spirited, or even just casually off the cuff, inappropriate for an academic environment. And for that exact same reason, you're not looking at the person, so you might not think through, or you might not remember even that there's a person on the other side. There's a living, breathing human being reading that post, reading that email. And so to that end, I really take great care and concern to make sure that we have a safe online environment, so people feel free to take risks. And you'll see when you're able to log in that I've done a video on tone in an academic environment for you to take a look at. It's kind of a parody of various comments and things that I've actually heard over my 20 years of teaching, that I don't want to ever hear again. So they're all kind of in there, and hopefully, you'll realize that it's really pretty simple. Just remember to be respectful of others, to think through your responses, and to be kind. We can disagree and be kind. And I think, if you remember that it is a classroom, It's not your Facebook page. It's not a personal blog. It's not a place, for those kind of things to be in the classroom. We're here to talk about writing, and we're here to learn various tools to do that better. That is our sole purpose together. Um, so not only, is it a college class, it's a writing class. So when you're writing your discussion posts, your language choices matter. Spelling matters. Don't use text speak. And make sure that your language choices are appropriate to a public and a college level environment. I think if you can just hold in the back of your head that before you press send, think about who that living, breathing person is on the other side, and it'll come pretty naturally to you. It's just easy. Sometimes I think we get so busy and we're just saying something and we're not maybe even aware of how it might come across to another person. So know that I'm paying very close attention to that, and I will be removing posts where tone seems to be an issue. Doesn't happen much, so but it is something I need to address right up front. Be respectful of your fellow students, be respectful of me, and I promise you that I will treat you with respect and professionalism as well. You'll have access to the course on the first day, and once you get in, take the time to familiarize yourself with Blackboard. If you don't know much about the Blackboard environment, in the welcome letter that I've sent out and also posted under announcements, I've given you a login for online Blackboard tutoring. It'll take you through sort of the basics of Blackboard, how to do various things. The class is set up pretty linearly. You'll see on the left side of the screen all the different weeks of the semester, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, blah, blah. Under each of those buttons is the reading assignments for each week, any writing exercises, and whether or not you have an assignment due that particular week. Also, under your course documents button, you'll find other handouts and things that are associated with the class. And then you'll see, of course, your syllabus button, and that's where you'll see additional course policies and all the due dates for the semester and lots of helpful phone numbers and things like that. So take the time to kind of poke around and see what you can find and figure out. If you do have any questions, there's a public Q&A forum in the discussion boards, and it's the very first forum that you're going to see. And you'll see that I've already answered several questions that come up quite frequently. But if you have something that you don't see there, feel free to post your question there. I found out that chances are if one person has a question, other people are going to have that same question. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Sometimes maybe a link in the class won't work, or you're not able to download an attachment or something like that. Let me know. There could be something wrong on my end, and I won't know if you don't let me know. I really want you to enjoy yourself over this semester. I want you to learn a lot of new things. I want to expose you to lots of different kinds of writing and approaches to writing. Some may be a fit for you, and some may not be a fit for you. But it's really important that you try to do things differently than you've always done them. That's how we get better. That's how we test ourselves and really, really push ourselves to a different level. I want to help you gain a deeper respect for the actual craft of language, what makes a sentence a great sentence, in addition to story elements and, things like that. And I also want to, as much as we can in an online environment, instill a real sense of community where you feel like you want to go log in, you want to go talk to the other people in your class, you want to share work, and talk about the readings and talk about the stories and various things that we're doing in the class. So, whether we're gathered together online or in person, we're a group of people who are together by choice, and you're here to talk and to learn and to write. And we're going to be working, from my perspective, with one of the most amazing things that humans have ever done, and that's learn to use language. So it's pretty magical. It's pretty amazing, and I really want to welcome you to the class. I look forward to reading your work and seeing how we can move over the course of the semester. If you'd like, feel free to stop by my office during office hours. Those are posted on the syllabus. I'm in Building 3, room 228. And if those times don't work and you want to stop by, shoot me an email and we'll set up an appointment time. And that's about it. Take a deep breath, relax, take things one day at a time, schedule your time, and move forward. And I think it'll be a really great semester.